Alright, Legend is Tyler here again, and today I am gonna teach you how to ping. It really helps in games, believe it or not. Some people, obviously in low levels, just learning the game, I'll ping for them and they just don't understand, they end up dying, and then they're like, oh, okay. So, there's lots of ways to do this. You can do quick pings. Those are pretty good if you hold down your control button. You can do it right on the map as well, so like boom, be careful.
Minions have spawned.
You can also hold down the control and then hold your left click, and then you'll have a menu that pops up, and like that would signal that you're on your way, telling your team there's danger, saying enemies are missing. That's very important in the laning phase. If someone is missing, like let's say top lane, you'll want to do that. And then this is obviously if you need some help. But this one is very important. People will definitely get mad if you don't use the enemy missing one, because people need to know that if the person you're laning against is missing, if they happen to go to the mid lane and your mid laner dies, they're probably going to be upset that you didn't ping them, that your enemy has left the lane. Even if you don't see them like go a specific way, they could just be backing, but it's better to be safe than sorry, so let your team know that they are not in lane anymore. And if you see an enemy like on the map, maybe you have a ward there or something, well, hopefully your team would see that enemy, but as long as you see it and you do the danger, telling them to be careful, or again, you can just hold down the control button and just quickly click the left mouse button. That's another way. Otherwise, you can just pull up the menu with the control button as well when you hold down the left mouse button. And also with the alt button, you can just ping. It's a normal ping. Mainly I would do this if you see an ally that's in trouble, if they're getting chased, and let's say you're going through like the jungle or something, give them a route to run. That's usually helpful. That's usually what I do, and then they'll usually follow it, because they know you're coming, and it's really crucial. Yeah, pings and wards help you win games, that's for sure. Pings are just another form of communication that really helps your team, and you don't need to waste time by typing. You can just quickly, boop. And that's about that. Alright, one other thing. What did I don't think it was in the store. Shoot.
Let me at him.
Let's see here. I think I'll go into a lane, because there's other ways you can do pings. There's more than just those pings. I think if you do the control button, yeah, that, and you do it like on a turret, that means you're probably gonna back from the turret, or you're telling your team to be careful. That turret's probably gonna go down, and there's like a whole group of enemy champions there, so better to be safe and just back away from that turret. And also you can also do that control thing and then tap on a enemy champion if they're doing like really strong. Like if they're a strong champion, you can tap that and have your team like stay clear of them, because it's pretty much the same thing, just back away from so and so, the champion you're targeting. But if you hold the alt button, like you can request aid, which is another form of the assist. It's just a little bit quicker, and people know like, oh, there's a turret in trouble. So I pretty much do that when, I don't know, maybe the lane is getting pushed and there might not be like an allied champion in that lane. Like here, top lane, like that's getting pretty pushed. I would target that so that way my team knows like, hey, gotta be careful. We don't want to be stupid and lose that turret to carelessness. And also with the alt, you can left click on a champion, an enemy champion, and that will target them. Shoot, okay. I think I need to go to like a monster buff to show you. Because if you hold down alt and then left click, boom, there, I target that. It would do the same thing to an enemy champion. It's saying target them, focus this person, or monster buff. Like you can do that if like you're in the jungle or maybe bot lane and you're just like, okay, you know, someone's missing, let's go after dragon, let's get it. And you can target a lot of things. You can't target minions, but you can target like I guess jungle monsters and champions and turrets. Now, I think also if you do the control, you can, yeah, signal, that's what I was talking about, back away. So obviously, let's be careful and stay clear of the dragon here. Can you do that? Yeah, you can do that to a monster that doesn't attack. Okay, that's cool. Let's see, what else do I want to touch base on? Well, you can also, like how you can request aid or you're gonna fall back from the turret. You can also target with the alt button. That means to attack that turret, or you're gonna fall back from it. But mainly the really important pings are like the danger one and the enemies missing. Because with the danger one, obviously you're alerting your team, hey, be careful, there's enemy champions there, or it might just not be a safe place to be at the moment. And with the enemies missing, that's pretty much an early indicator that you need to be careful. Because obviously an enemy is missing, so they might be coming towards you, and hopefully you'll have a ward, and hopefully the person that just signaled the enemy's missing will also just be like, hey, be careful. Or maybe they saw them go that way, you know, heading towards, let's say, mid lane from bot lane. I mean, you can ping, but sometimes it might just be better to follow the enemy. But it kind of depends. I mean, coming from bot lane, you might want to be careful, because their enemy jungler could be, you know, they might want to focus dragon. So if you're coming from bot lane, hopefully you got like this area warded, so that way you can see everything that's going on over there. Otherwise, if it's safe and you see them go past dragon, well, be careful, because, you know, enemies might be hiding in the bushes over here, but also, you know, follow the enemy and hopefully indicate, you know, telling your ally to be careful. because they're probably gunning for him. That's pretty much, because pings are important, and obviously wards. I did that in the earlier video. Let's see here. I guess I'll touch base on this. Some people, I mean, I would say it's in the earlier levels, I guess. They don't fully know what's going on, but let's say they have, like, low health. Like, they'll just sit here and, yeah, do that. But, you know, in some ways, getting executed is better than having an enemy champion get the kill. Because they aren't getting gold from your death. So that's the main thing. But when people have low HP, I mean, with some people, with some champs, like this one, Jax, if you have low HP, I mean, if you're a strong Jax, you could probably still get a couple kills. But people in the early levels don't fully grasp the whole thing about health.
Bring it on.
Like, if you see your health going down, like, I'm not gonna do anything fancy here against these walls. Just simply attacking them. People in the early levels wouldn't understand that, oh, I have low health, I should stop attacking. Well, that's the smart thing to do, including going against enemy champions. Like, if you have low health, you gotta be careful. Like, you just want to start running away. Don't just sit there, oh, maybe I can kill him. Odds are you're probably not going to if you're already past, like, half your health and they only did, like, 2 abilities. So that's crucial. You know, play smart. If you can save yourself from dying, that'll help your team right there. Communicate with your team, you know, using the pings. Let them know to be careful. Let them know that enemies are missing. It's crucial.
Ready for battle.
But, if you can just, all in all, play smart. You gotta know, like, how much damage your champion can do. You gotta be comfortable with your champion. You gotta be able to, if you know how to outplay a champion, try to do it. Actually, I wouldn't say try, just do it. Like, if you can do it, do it. But obviously, if an enemy champion is stronger, you gotta play a little more passive. Don't be so aggressive. Try not to push the lane so hard. Just play safe. And that is really strong, mostly in the early game. Because I know early games, people can die. You know, it's gonna happen if they might just be a better player. They have more strengths. And it might just be the champion too. But if you can, you know, just, it's called hugging the turret. I mean, you might not get a lot of experience points because maybe he's not going to push the lane. But if the lane is, like, up here like it is, he's not going to see you, or they won't see you, and he might still end up pushing the lane because it's just like, okay, maybe he's not in lane, maybe I can get to turret. So he'll end up pushing, and then you're just staying at turret, and then when that wave comes, obviously, this is also stronger in the early game. You can last hit minions for that gold, which is very important, under the turret. Early game, it's a little bit easier, because you'll be able to see the HP on the minions, and then last hit.
Bring
Otherwise, like, mid to late game, you'll be doing so much damage, you'll just be able to just attack. Because you want gold. That'll make you strong. Even if you are just having a terrible game, you're giving the enemy a whole bunch of kills. If your farm is good, you're golden. You just need to start playing smarter. Obviously, you're not going to be able to probably do much against anyone solo on their team, but in team fights you'll have strong items, and hopefully your team isn't like feeding as well, and you'll be able to do just fine as long as your team fight is smart. One thing I don't like, obviously people in early levels, but also I've seen it in rank too. I mean, it's probably like the low ranks, like bronze. I would hope it's only bronze, I don't know. People just don't focus tanks. I mean, they're supposed to get you to focus them. Obviously, they're tanky, they're going to be in the front line, they're going to do whatever it takes so that way damage is dealt to them. And meanwhile, their backlines, like the AD carries, are going to be picking off your team. So what you need to do is obviously have the tanks, like on your team, just once again definitely not focus the enemy tank. Go after their like AD carries. Like if anybody can take out an AD carry, it should be a tank. If it isn't, well then that AD carry is well fed and that's not gonna look too good. But hopefully you have also a good enough comp, like maybe someone does a lot of damage and you're the tank, you and that other person can focus that AD carry. Now if the AD carry is smart, they should be focusing the person who does a lot of damage, instead of you, the tank, because you're both going after this AD carry. So maybe the AD carry kills the person who does a lot of damage, and then you are just a tank. You can take a lot of damage, but you can't do a lot of damage, so eventually you're gonna die too. But right there, hopefully the rest of your team will have enough damage, and you'll be able to maybe outlive the ADC just a little bit longer, and hopefully your team focuses the AD carry, and since you're the tank, you'll still end up living. I've seen it so many times in fights. I always ask, like, guys, why is the tank so low? Why are we focusing him? I mean, there's no point in doing so. People on the team who do a lot of damage, that's who you need to get rid of first. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some tanks who do a lot of damage, like Darius. He can be tanky and he can do a lot of damage. So, you gotta be careful with that. But still, that doesn't mean focus him. Focus the people like the AD carries. They're most likely gonna have less hit points, less defenses. They just do a lot of damage. So that's why you want to get rid of them. Like, especially in team fights. I just really hate it when, oh yeah, we killed their tank first. Well, okay. How many people did we lose? 3? That wasn't worth. That wasn't a good team fight. But if we take out, like, all their damage people, and only the tank is left to kill, he's just gonna end up running away, because he knows he can't take us all on. I mean, he could try, but I don't think it would work. So that's pretty much all about this video. I went over pings and smart team fighting, and that's pretty much all you need to do to be successful. And obviously, kill minions, get gold in the laning phase. And if you're a jungler, kill monsters in the jungle. And actually, in my previous video, I don't think I went over like all the monsters in the jungle, so actually I can do that really quick. So over on this side, this is the blue buff. These buffs are like the first monsters that spawn, I believe, right about when minions are right in the middle of the lane, roughly. And so you'll be attacking these at level 1, and depending on, well, most champions will need, it's called the leash. And let's say you're starting the blue buff here, the top laner will come and help you do damage to this monster. And then you'll eventually have smite, and you can smite that monster. I think smite is like 340 damage at level 1. So pretty much once the monster gets to like 340 or something, you can smite that, and then you'll get, like, if you took damage from the monster, you'll receive health back. And then after that, you'll level up, and you'll get gold. And then also depends on the champion here. You can go to Gromp here. He's another monster. He doesn't give you a buff like this one. The blue one is like the blue buff, obviously, and it helps you with mana regeneration, and it gives you 10% cooldown reduction for 2 minutes. So obviously, if you're a like heavy mana champion, you'll want to do that first. Or if you don't use mana, you know, or maybe you're just like a heavy damage champ and you just want to start this red buff. Now red buff, it doesn't give you benefit of the mana, I guess, but it gives you benefit for your basic attacks. And let's see, it also helps with health regeneration. And then when you attack, it slows the enemy and it burns them for 3 seconds. And that, again, that buff lasts for 2 minutes as well. And then come over here. These guys, the Krugs, these guys, like, I don't know, am I strong enough? I hope I am. Let's see. I should be strong enough, yeah. I should be strong enough to take out these guys. But, you can only smite the large monsters, so I would smite that already. And then these guys break down into little ones. So, yeah, it kinda can take a while to break down these guys. But you're definitely getting a lot of gold from it, which is good.
Surprise!
Let's see here. Went over the red buff. Now these guys, they're annoying little chickens. Like, most junglers, specifically early game, they'll try to clear this camp. Yeah, each thing is called a camp for jungle monsters, and sometimes they'll end up dying, and it's mostly to the chicken camp here, because there's so many of them, and you just, it sucks. But I always laugh, I'm like, those chickens get you every time. But obviously I'm like level 9, so I'll be able to clear these out pretty quick. And I don't have any items. I don't have any masteries or runes. It just shows you how strong you can be just by leveling up.
Let me at 'em.
And I think I went over, like, while leveling up. Well, I mean, it's good in matches. And with, like, if you're laning and you see your enemy is like maybe they might be level 11, let's say, so they're 2 levels ahead of me. Odds are you don't want to really go after them, because you probably will
It's
lose.
on.
They have 2 more levels, so their abilities are upgraded times, like, 2. Am I gonna be able to keep this? This will be
Has
interesting.
destroyed a turret.
Yeah, we'll be able to. So, yeah, when their abilities are, obviously they have 2 more points in one of their abilities.
Bring it on.
Or, they might add one here and whatever. But they're 2 levels ahead of you, so they're 2 times stronger in a way. They have more hit points, they have more damage, and this is all just from leveling up. Because I believe the scaling things from leveling up are the attack damage and armor. And yeah, mana or magic resist does not scale.
Surprise! I'm back.
Shoot. That's about all I got for this video. I think we touched base on a lot of important stuff, so that'll be it for now.